The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
Video, okay? So this I found on the internet. Basically, Afa Anoa'i Jr., a member of the renowned Anoa'i family, had his career marked with wrestling pedigree and contributions to the industry. However, there have been incidents and allegations involving him that have raised serious questions about his conduct, particularly concerning boundaries with students and trainees. So I'm going to play this video for you. I know sometimes it's hard to see.
Yeah.
But this does not look like a work. I don't believe it's a work. And I think this guy took way advantage of this trainee. Now, there's no sound, dude. He looks like he's laying those kicks into that kid.
Yeah, I've seen this clip with audio, by the way.
Okay.
So I do know how loud these shots were. They were loud. It's kind of funny, Mike. It looks like it's in a firehouse with that garage door opened up, doesn't it?
No, it certainly is. But this kid is cowering, okay? This is not a small man. He runs a wrestling school, okay? And the story behind this is that the kid was a huge contributor and loved Samoans. And he did not like that this kid was acting like a Samoan, I guess. And he put the fucking boots to this kid.
Right.
Now, you saw the video, you said.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when you first saw the video?
It looked like just another typical local card in a firehouse with a beatdown where fans could go, holy shit. I don't know what his intentions were, but it looked like there was certainly no fight coming from the other side. So what is that all about? You know, doesn't look good on the surface. Doesn't look good.
Well, the promoter of the show, you know Bull James at all?
Yes.
How do you know Bull James?
I remember Bull James from NXT. I do remember. And I do think that he was actually in our studio one time. I don't think we did an interview, but he happened to be there because he was traveling with somebody else.
All right. Well, Bull James went to social media about this because he was promoting the show. He wrote, Yoko, I guess this is a kid getting the beat down.
Right.
Was billed from the Polynesian Islands during his run. No one was injured here. There were no concussions, no blood, no broken bones, no broken orbitals, no broken noses, no lost teeth, no black eyes, no busted eardrums, no cauliflower ears, on and on. He got hit hard in a safe space. Everyone who walked into the ring that night walked out entirely capable of performing the next night. People got worked and they're upset about it. Thoughts on that?
That could very well be the case. I mean, if it's not the case, wouldn't you expect him to protect his company? All
right, wait a minute. So hold on a second. So here's the point, right? You know what? I cut you off when you were saying it. If it wasn't the case, does he protect his company? What company? Okay. Here's the thing. You're running a fucking promotion. You have a tenured trainer, right? From a very high level family.
Right.
And the fucking dude put a beat down on a kid. That kid looked like he was cowering. I mean, I tried to find the kid because I was going to bring him on.
Sure.
Because there comes isn't that bullying, Jimmy? Honestly, you're the size of that guy. Isn't that bullying?
If he's doing that for real and that was not part of what was prearranged, then that goes beyond bullying. That's an assault in my book.
Well, let me ask you, as an expert like you are, you're a smart guy. When you looked at that video, did you think it was a work? And if you did, tell me, because I just didn't think it was a work. I'm not trying to sensationalize it. I looked at it and said, man, this guy's giving this dude a beating. And that wasn't working stiff, by the way.
Right. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like exactly the same way as it did to you. I just didn't overly process it because I don't know the comings and goings of his little company that he does. I don't know how it was set up. If that came out of nowhere, then it's bullshit. Shouldn't be fucking
Let
happening.
me ask you something. If you wanted to be a wrestler, right, and you're
Yeah.
paying to go to school,
Right.
I would think, again, I'm not a wrestler, but I would think when you get in that ring, okay, let's put it into the real world thing. You and I
Yeah.
work for a company. We do not like each other personally. In fact, I'll go even as far to say we hate each other personally.
All right.
But should we let our business personally affect the business of the company?
No, not at all.
And as a worker for the company, even though I know you hate me and I hate you, should I have to worry about you trying to set me up and doing things like
No,
no, right?
no,
So if you're
you
a
shouldn't.
wrestler and you get in the ring and
Right.
should you ever fear that someone's going to really shoot on you?
You know what always amazes me about these shoots? Because I've never really ever seen it happen. And look, I'll put myself in that position. Let's say, like you said, I am a wrestler and I paid to go to wrestling school. And then somebody, like, I don't care if they're bigger than me. Mike, you know me. All right. If they start shooting on me like that, I'm going to pull myself up and make sure that they knew that they were in a fight. And that's why I still don't understand why, over all these years, when there's been these shoots, that the other person doesn't just get up and go, fuck this, and that they really truly go at it. So are we being worked? Like I said,
Let me ask you a
maybe
question
we
though.
are.
Why
I
are
don't
we
know.
assuming that every wrestler is a real life tough guy?
I'm not assuming any of that. I find it funny that it's 0%.
Let me ask you this
You
question.
know, yeah,
You couldn't get away with this in the WWE. You couldn't get away with it in AEW. But
right.
don't you feel like these backyard little indie promotions where 50 people or 20 people show up to watch it,
Oh,
that
you get
these
away with it.
wrestlers can do
You're right.
business that way
You're
and
right.
and actually assault someone,
You're
and
right.
I'm using the word assault,
Yeah,
and feel safe because they were working. Remember Hannibal?
right.
Remember what
Mm-hmm.
Hannibal did to that fucking referee? That was fucking out of control,
Yep.
unacceptable.
Yep.
And when people like, oh, it was just wrestling, let's not forget what Hannibal did to his girlfriends and all that
Right.
other bullshit.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like, why? To me, this dude should be punished, dude. In my
I,
opinion.
if it was real, then absolutely. But here's the thing that really makes me laugh: the most brutal places of all are not WWE and AEW. I'm enhancing your point. The most brutal places of all is where the small man has the dream and works for a small man in a small promotion in a small site, whether it's at a dock by the water where you break your leg, or whether it's wherever it may be, and the guy decides to take liberties on you and crack your fucking skull open.
Right.
Yeah, that's the very thing that the marks cry for. Support your independent wrestling. If they knew the level of evil intent that goes on there, they would probably bitch a lot less about the mainstream wrestling that we watch.
It's good shit, Jimmy. You're right. It's
You
good
know,
shit.
I mean, we've seen some real dangerous shit, and nobody gives a shit.
I'll tell you
You
what,
know,
I would never become a professional wrestler because you know what? Give someone the opportunity to really assault me without trying to get in trouble.
right,
It's
right,
like you're putting
right,
yourself in a no-win situation there. Think about what New Jack did to that dude.
right.
He literally threw him off
He
the
threw
top
him.
of a building.
Yeah,
Or think about fucking what New Jack fucking did to that kid. Kid's
right,
dead now.
right,
Scarred that kid for
right,
life. And
right,
they think it's a joke, right?
right. No,
Well, how dare you get in my industry, kid? Who the fuck
yeah.
are you to get in my industry?
It's not a joke at all. You
You
know,
think you as tough as Wahoo was,
yeah.
do you think that he would try to break someone's leg?
No, no, Wahoo wasn't made that way, especially from, what I've learned about Wahoo. Just, you could read all you want about Wahoo, but, in my personal experience, Wahoo was a professional. Wahoo would never go try to hurt somebody. It was always about making sure that both people got over. It was very important to him that even the lowest person on the card was paid fairly and given a chance to show their wares, in an effective way. I've very rarely, if almost ever, heard anything negative about him. He did not strike me as the kind of man who would ever go out to injure somebody. You know, just he was human. just like there was plenty of people he could do without in the business, like a Lex Luger, for example, because Lex made it very clear from day one that Lex didn't give a shit about pro wrestling and was there for the money and was there for the, whatever. He wasn't a worker. I saw Wahoo carry him in a steel cage match one time. It made me laugh how much he had to carry him, how green he was. Lex Luger's punches were some of the worst punches I've ever seen, in his days when he was first getting started.
Yeah.
But Wahoo would never go out of his way to hurt him, And a lot of old school wrestlers had that sort of respect. Like for example, from Axe from Demolition, the great Mass Superstar. He never struck me as somebody who would go out to try to hurt somebody, whether he liked them or didn't like
By the
them.
way, friend of the show, Bob Cook, an actual wrestler, he has this comment, Jimmy. Do you know how rare an incident
Cook.
like that is in wrestling? You have a better chance of being assaulted in a line at Walmart than you do in professional wrestling.
He's probably
I agree.
right.
I agree,
Yeah.
Bob. But the problem is
He's
when you're in
right.
the sanctity of that ring, you shouldn't
Right.
ever even have to
Right.
worry about it
Right.
ever.
Right.
Like when you
Right.
go to Walmart, I think the expectation is someone may fuck you up. Someone may shoot you. Someone may, as unfortunate as may be. But when you're
Right.
in the sanctity of your internal family of
Right.
wrestlers,
Right.
right,
Right.
you shouldn't have to worry about
Right.
someone, shooting on you.
Right.
Again, sorry to
Right.
use the wrestling terminology. It's
No.
wrong.
Of
It's
course it is.
wrong. And
Yeah.
you know what? He should be punished for that because he's breaking the sanctity of wrestling, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sport, but it has to be performed safely. Now, Bob might have been very fortunate in his career because obviously Bob himself was a safe worker.
Well,
And
I wonder how Bob
you know.
felt when the Road Warriors fucking beat the living shit out of
Right.
everybody, for real.
Right. Right.
Again, we're
Right.
just fans. We only know what we want. I'm watching that
Yeah.
video of,
Yeah.
Junior beating the shit out of some kid. You know what I
Right.
mean?
When Bradshaw and Simmons beat the living crap out of Public Enemy, I mean, my God, they beat the shit out of them on the way out the door.
You know what's
You know?
funny? Mitch Seinfeld told me a story. I heard it really wasn't like that, but we'll talk about that. I want to remind everybody, Jimmy's back in New York on November 7th, 8th. He'll be in studio with me, and then on the 9th, I'm by my studio because he'll be going to see Maiden, and Jimmy will be at the big event. So, we continually to shoot on StreamYard because we've got some producer issues at Tin Mirror, but we're trying to get that worked out. But things are working out fine. All right, let's get to the main subject here.